So this week's review car is a new car from Hyundai called the Bayon, and it gets its name from a small French town. And the reason Hyundai have named it the Bayon is because the sales of this car primarily focused in Europe, and having a European capital, or not capital city, but a European city as a name for the car kind of just makes it sort of more saleable, I suppose. Well, that's what Hyundai believe. They've been very successful with names of cities, international cities and American cities, for example. The Tucson, for example, and the Santa Fe, but they're more internationally focused. So perhaps a little bit more international names there, if you get my drift. But at the end of the day, what's in a name? What it depends on is what this car is all about. It's based on the i20 supermini that Hyundai produce. So the underpinnings of this are very much the i20. However, the rest of it is slightly different looking. That's the only way I can describe it. It's a bit what we say here in the UK as Marmite. I think you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. I quite like the look of the car. I think it's quite striking. It's got some real angles to it as well. At the end of the day though, it's down to the individual. It's practical. It's a family car. It's got 4 doors. It's economical, and it does what it says on the tin. And at the same time, it's very, very reasonably priced. The only other bit of competition it really has is with its own sibling, believe it or not. That's the Hyundai Kona, because that's another small SUV that Hyundai produce. That's about the only real competition. It's quite nice to be in that bracket that you're sort of competing with your little brother, so to speak. Anyway, enough of that. We need to find out what this car's like. We need to get around it, have a look under the bonnet, see what the engines are like, and generally get it out on the road and give you our opinion. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this review. You're watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. If you haven't seen what we do before, check this out. This is how a car should sound. Listen to this.
I didn't really push it either. I was just having a bit of fun.
Oh, really? So there you have it, guys. The Ferrari Roma. Wheel spin. Outside. Cool. We're going to meet the crew and hopefully get it taken out.
I think it makes a good work.
Alright, let's go, mate. Nice to see you.
Show us your big chopper, your helicopter.
So here we are, the Morgan Roadster. Hey guys, guess what? It's another morning here out in sunny France.
Hyundai Bayons come in 10 different colour combinations, and there are 3 different trim levels. Your entry level car is called the SE Connect, and then you have a premium, and then your top of the range, or kitchen sink level car as I call them, is the Ultimate. Now with your premium car, you will get things like 16-inch wheels, you get auto sensing headlights, in other words they do the dip beam thing for you, you get rear parking sensors, additionally you get cruise control, a 10.5-inch screen behind the wheel, that's like your cluster, which looks absolutely stunning, and you'll get an 8-inch TFT touchscreen in the middle. It's all pretty good value, starting at around 21,000 UK pounds, about 23,000 UK pounds for your mid-level car, the premium, and that kitchen sink level will be in upwards of £24,380. The Hyundai Bayon comes with 2 engine choices, both of which are 1-litre turbo-powered petrol units. One will be 100 brake horsepower, and if you go for the mild hybrid, that's 120 brake horsepower. There's a manual or an auto gearbox available, and they both come with front-wheel drive. Now, the mild hybrid is a 48-volt hybrid, gives you that extra 20 brake horsepower. Difference between that, a full-fat hybrid, and a plug-in hybrid, as you probably all know, plug-in hybrid, exactly what it says on the tin, you plug it in, you get 20 to 30 miles of pure electrical power when needed. With the full-fat hybrid, you don't have to plug anything in, it recharges itself, and it can run on electrical power on its own, so it doesn't need necessarily the motor running, it will run on electrical power. The mild hybrid like this little engine gets is purely to give you a little bit more of your economy, but mainly to give you a little bit more bang for your buck when it comes to putting your foot on the throttle. Now, putting your foot on the throttle with this little 1 litre engine, irrespective of whether you've got the 100 or the 120 brake horsepower version, is pretty slow. I mean, it's not exactly designed as a hot hatch, but you will get around 10.4 to 10.6 seconds 0 to 60 depending on which engine you go for, with a top speed of between 112 and 115 miles an hour. It's quite a funky design round at the back of the Bayon. I love this aero that's going on up here and all this sort of LED lighting package that comes with the car. You get a rear floaty screen, as I call it, because there's no rubbers here. You can literally see the edge of the screen itself there. You get a wash wipe, and as you'll notice, this is the top level car, so it gets the privacy glass as part of the package as well. There's no fake vents anywhere, and there's no exhaust vents sticking out anywhere. I just think it's a nice compact design. I really like it. It looks very sort of hot hatchy, even though it isn't a hot hatch at the end of the day. You just pop it open like that, very easy to pull up. Inside here you've got 405 litres of boot space. When you put the seats down, you've got 1,200 litres of boot space. It's a reasonable size. You know, it's a lot bigger than some of the other cars in its class as well. Let's have a quick look inside here. We'll get rid of the parcel shelf. Now, unfortunately, this is one of those parcel shelves you can't put it underneath and lose it, but what you can do is slide it back by doing that, and it will pop down like that, which is really handy if you've got put the dogs in there, or you've got, you know, load of shopping in there. Just pops back out of the way. And as I say, unfortunately, if I pull this back out and show you, it does pop out. It would be so nice if we could just turn that over and put it underneath, but unfortunately you can't. You have, the only place you can leave it is like that. So you're going to end up normally leaving these at home in your garage or sitting around in the front room, because at the end of the day you're going to be out and you need to get rid of that because you need the space. Let's pop the seats down. I'll show you how good that actually is. So you just pop them down. You've got little, you know, lever either side like that, and you pop that forward, and there you go. That's 1,200 litres of space. There's no 12-volt adapter in the back here. There's a little bit of a lip on the back. Now get yourself some plastic when you buy one of these cars, because you're going to need to cover this up as well, because the dogs or your prams or your pushchairs going in are going to scratch all that, and when you come to sell the car, that's going to knock value off of the car. When you come to hand it back, they're going to charge you at the lease company for all the scratches that you've produced on the back. So buy some sticky back plastic, it's called, whack it over there. When it starts to get a bit tatty and dirty, rip it off and go and buy yourself another piece. Costs about £1 a sheet, dirt cheap. That's my top tip of the year, that one. Underneath here, well, on this particular car, it is the mild hybrid, so you've got the mild hybrid system in the back here. If you didn't have that, I'm sure you can get a spare wheel to go in there. And this one doesn't even have the puncture repair kit. Again, a load of useless stuff they throw in the cars these days, you know, with that liquid that goes in the tyres and the pump that you pump out. It doesn't work. Throw it away. Get run flats like this car's got. That's the way forward. That's the only way forward with this car, because you're not going to get the spare wheel in the back there. There you have it. Practicality, a little bit of good height in there. It's versatile. It's family friendly. I like the Bayon. So this is surprising. Look at the space in here. It's really, really nice. Bags of headroom, loads of legroom. That's in my normal driving position. Really love it. And loads of nice little extra bits and pieces. For instance, you've got a nice little USB adapter in the middle there. Wasn't expecting that, because this, at the end of the day, is a budget car. No independent heating controls, so I wasn't expecting that either. One thing I do like, and I say bits and pieces, I love the fact that Hyundai don't use those horrible plastic Isofix covers. They use basically a very simple zip there that you can zip down, and then it's so easy to put your car seat in. Very, very simple. I like the finish on the seats. This is a wipe-friendly finish. Basically, it's been Scotch guarded. It's, you know, just nice and simple, family friendly. Got a pocket over here for putting bits and pieces in. At the same time, just check out, look at the rake on that door, how far back it goes. That's going to mean putting a seat in and out of here, or helping older or, you know, aged people in and out, like mum and dad, for example. It's going to be perfect, because they can just slip their feet round and step out of the car. Nice big window, and don't forget this one being the ultimate, you've got the privacy glass on it. But that big window does come nearly all the way down. It will go all the way to there. Again, I really like that in cars, because if you suffer a little bit from car sickness, it's nice to have the window come all the way down. It's also nice to have it at a certain height above your shoulder so you can look out, and it's a big window. Little courtesy light in the middle there. It's not a split seat on this one. You haven't got a central armrest that comes down with a double cup holder, but you do get some nice recessed seat belts in the back here. All in all, I'm pleasantly surprised. It's extremely comfortable, but I've become accustomed to that with all the Hyundai range. I really like up front here in the Bayon. It's neatly proportioned, everything's set up for the driver. Look at the adjustment you get on the steering. So it's a manual adjustment down there. Look, it comes right out, all the way in, all the way down, all the way up. Look, it's absolutely incredible. That's really good. So no matter how tall or how short you are, you're going to find the perfect driving position. The seats are all manually adjusted in this car, even though it's top of the range. There's no electronic seats, but you've got the pump action, which will raise you up, or you can push it down and it'll drop you down. And if you want to go forwards or backwards, there's just a handle at the front here, so you can slide it. You will find you get into the perfect position here. Mirrors are in a good position, and I love the large windscreen in this car as well. It's really nice. This car benefits from the bigger TFT touchscreen because it is the ultimate. So there's a few extra bits and pieces on here. I also like the digital cluster as well. That comes with all the cars, with all the range. Another thing you do get with all the range is aircon, and your aircon is all situated here. It's, again, really nice and easy to use. I hate it when it's all digital and you're trying to touch the screen, you've got wet hands. You know, I love a knob. You know I love a knob. There is only one knob up there, but you've got sort of flexi knobs here, I call them. So you go up and down for your heating there, that changes it. But you can do that with gloves on, you see, or even wet hands. It's going to work. You're not going to get all your screen messy or whatever. And over here is how much fan you need, so that changes the air supply as it goes up and down, or the rate of air that's coming through. But below it you've got your nice little buttons, so you can set it up manually, or you just push auto and it'll do it itself. You can turn auto off quite easily as well by manually adjusting your fan. There you go, simple as. This is the manual gearbox version, so you've got your gear lever right there in the middle. Lovely manual handbrake as well, love that. You can do, well, I wouldn't suggest doing handbrake turns in this car. It'd be quite frightening, I'd imagine. Double cup holder down here. You've got a cubby in here, which is big enough to put a couple of mobiles in there, or keep your keys or whatever you want, or even cruise batteries, as I've seen in there. Over at the front here, this particular car, again, I will mention it's the ultimate, so it comes with everything. It's got a wireless charger. Now this thing, I've got to say, I rarely say this about things in cars, absolutely useless. I mean, completely useless. You put your mobile in there, and you're charging it up. As you go around the bend, it slides and then it stops charging, and then you have to maneuver it back over the little pad to get it to charge again. Completely useless. I've had to plug mine in using one of the USB adapters here at the front. There's also a 12-volt adapter there as well. So that one, not so keen on. You also get your drive mode here, but we'll talk about that when we get it out on the road, because there's 3 different drive modes. This car also comes with heated front seats. Just pop them on, 3-stage as well. Up here, you've got all your widgets, you've got your nav built in, you've got your Bluetooth, you've got your Android mirroring, and don't forget you've got USB Bluetooth connectivity, Android mirroring, and Apple Play. I had to get that one in as well. All easy to use. But to be honest, this car, nice and neatly set up. You've got all your driver controls over here. Left-hand side of your media controls, you've got your telephone, and you've got your mode buttons and stuff. Let's get this car out on the road and see what we think of this little sort of medium hatchback, shall we say. When you get the little Bayon out on the road, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, if not actually shocked, because it's quite a responsive little aggressive engine this car's got. And it almost growls, you can hear it, it's like I love this 6-speed manual gearbox. I think if I was going to buy one, I'd definitely go for the manual. It's quite nice. I like driving a manual car. I'm a bit of a driver's driver. I find the automatic a little bit lazy, and sometimes it can be a bit laggy as well. At least here you've got full control, and you do get that nice manual handbrake as well. Car itself comes with different modes. You've got 3 modes. The mode button is just down here in front of your gear shifter. If you push the mode button in, initially you will notice you are in the economy mode, eco mode as it's got here. Obviously best for your economy, speaks for itself. You push it again, you go into comfort mode, and it does a little animation and it changes colour for you. And again, comfort mode, that's exactly what it's doing. It's sort of making dampers a little bit softer, and it just makes your life a little bit easier when you're driving long distances, I suppose. If you push it again, you then go into sport mode, and this is where this car actually starts to come alive, because you really get some bang for your buck with that mild hybrid system. Suddenly the car picks up, it really responds properly, and to be honest, if you fancy a little buzz around the lanes in this, is actually quite hairy and exciting. It's got a lovely, you know, that I-20 underpinning that this car's got. Brilliant chassis on it. You're going to feel really secure in this car. You really want to sort of have a little play with it. However, I want to give it its best economy, and so I'm going to go back into economy. We're currently getting just under 40 to the gallon around town. This isn't the combined. This is me just buzzing around the, you know, the country lanes. There we go. It's just turned 40 to the gallon, which perfect, absolutely brilliant. I think easy. You get this car out on a run, 50s, no problem at all, because once you get in the 70 mile an hour, you stick the cruise control on and away you go. Speaking of cruise control, this car, even the entry level, comes with a number of really nice little safety aids that normally other manufacturers charge you extra for. So cruise control, lane keeping, which, you know, is simple to turn on and off, we've said that. You've then got things like hill start assist. You've got driver alert for when you know, been driving a little while. It tells you need to stop and have a cup of coffee. Oh yes. You've got tyre pressure monitor. You've got parking sensors front and rear. Autonomous braking, so it will sense pedestrians and things like that coming up when you're driving. If you're not quick enough to react, it will take over and react for you. It also has collision avoidance system built into this car. So pretty much you're getting a lot of, you know, value for money out of a car that really is already reasonably priced. So I'm quite impressed with all the kit that you get with it. But then again, it's a Hyundai, and I've got a big passion for Hyundais these days because they are giving us value for money, and that's what it's all about. It's comfort, value for money, and practicality. And speaking of value for money, when you buy one of these cars here in the UK, you can actually get a full service on one of these cars for just 250 UK pounds, and a half service for 150. So again, you know, it's good to be able to know how much it's going to cost to maintain this car at the same time. All in all, Hyundai, I think you're nailing it with this car. I really love driving it. It's good fun, practical, value for money, ticking all my boxes. So there you have it, the Hyundai Bayon. What do I think of it? Definitely worth a test drive. I mean, value for money, compact, family sized, 4 doors, doesn't get much better, does it? And additionally, don't forget you've got that Hyundai warranty. You've got 5 years unlimited mileage with one of these. You've got 12 years anti-perforation, or rusty bit warranty as I call it. You've also got a paint warranty. You've got 1 year's roadside assistance, and you get 5 annual checks, or 5 once a year checks, health checks on this car that let you know whether there's anything wrong with it, which I doubt there ever will be, because Hyundai are building better and better cars these days. So add all that together, yeah, definitely worth a trip down to the Hyundai sales room. And I'd definitely have one, probably go for the 120 brake horsepower with the mild hybrid. I think that's the way forward. Manual gearbox, auto gearbox, end of the day, it's your choice. Guys, thanks for watching our little review on the Hyundai Bayon, or Hyundai Bayon, I must say it properly. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed whizzing around in this little car. It's been quite a bit of fun, to be honest with you. You've been watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, subscribe and comment. There's a comment box down below. If you want to ask any questions, or you've got anything you wish to add about this car, just pop it in the comment box and one of the team will get back to you in due course. Don't forget, there is a subscribe button down there. If you want to subscribe, because you saw at the beginning of this video, we don't just do car reviews, we do stacks of other stuff as well. So if you want to keep an eye on what we're doing, get updated and stuff like that, subscribe and leave the bell sign unchecked, and that will give you a little notification every time we put the videos up. Don't forget also, if you could give us a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. We don't get any bonus, we don't get any extra pay, but what we do get is a pat on the back from the boss to say, job well done, because you thumbs up, because that means you like what we're doing. So I'd really appreciate that. Now, in return for that, I want to give you guys something for nothing, completely free of charge, because we are part of a much bigger organisation called The Player. And The Player produces a 200-page bookazine for men. Every few months that comes out. It's got everything in it. It's fantastic, that book. It's got cars, it's got boats, motorcycles, it's got wine, it's got reviews, it's got interviews, golf, you name it. It's all in there, and it's all for us guys. So if you want to get your hands on that, you can only get the online version for free, but it's better than nothing. It's exactly the same as the big hard book that we produce, but that costs 100 UK pounds. I can't really send you one of those, as I'd end up losing my job because they cost too much money. So go to www.theplayer.co.uk. Hang on a minute, let me pull it in here. Now I'll leave it down there for a minute. It's right down by my feet. As soon as you pop over there, you'll see it's simple. Just put in your name and your email. That's it. job done, finished. And you can get on and you can download that, or you can view it online, and the latest one always pops up there every few months. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next week with something different.